Happy Thursday. I'm Justin Martinez. I run the Martinez team out of 10 East 53rd Street in Midtown Manhattan. My office looks at the Cartier building. Um, I've been coaching with Chirag since March 2020, right before the shutdown. I believe I was his first client. And the emphasis was like when we started this great community was to do role play and basically frame conversations around, calling people. And the best way we did it, we basically practice it every day as a group. And that's what he wants me to do here. So the goal is, sorry, I just saw a message. So the goal is for this call is to basically maybe call one client that you want to touch base with. So maybe a client that you haven't spoken to in some time, and yeah, let's schedule a conversation around that. So does anyone want to participate in like a quick role play? Sure, let's do it, Kristen.
Sure. I'm a brand new agent and I don't have any past clients. I only have a couple of lease clients, so.
That's good. So do you have, what industry did you come over from? Did you come over from?
I've been a teacher and ran a gynecologist office and been in land development, but the last 11 years a stay-at-home mom.
Okay, gotcha. Which I mean, that's like the toughest job. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, so, and she had 4 boys.
Oh, like, yeah, that's a lot.
It's like the most important job too. So,
yeah.
All right. So basically, when you call anytime, so I imagine that it sounds like you're trying to get, clients, right? Or you're trying to tap into your sphere, right?
Yes. Correct. Like they call me and ask me questions, but so far nobody's been in a position where they're buying or selling.
Okay. So that's typically when I call clients, so you always want to have a goal in mind. So that's the big thing, right? You don't ever want to call a client and say, hey, I'm just calling you, the market's hot, interest rate, you should buy now because interest rates, you don't want to be a used car salesman. Like we're in a relationship business, right? So you have to think of everyone as like a seed you're planting. We're basically like professional farmers, just in a different, we're just in real estate. So every person we touch, there should be a goal, whether it's just to, build some rapport, whether it's to maybe just get a follow-up, maybe it's you want to get a coffee date, maybe you want to go, get some drinks. So there should be a goal. So anytime you start that conversation, have a goal, right? Second thing, once you have that goal, right, frame the conversation around that, right? So, Kristen, if your goal is to literally just maybe schedule a coffee date with someone, right, then we framework that conversation around that. Then after we do, you do that conversation, right? Then you have an action plan after that. So it could be as simple as, let's touch base next week. Let's touch base after the summer. Let's touch base a year from now. Or maybe they're just like, put me on your email blast every month and, you schedule an email. So the 3 steps are goal, right, before you call the client or email the client, whatever the preferred method of communication. Role play, you should have some type of game plan before calling that client. So this is where role play helps because you're able to framework that that conversation around the goal. Then after you speak with the client or get a hold of the client, what is the follow-up plan after that? And this doesn't have to be, you want it to be very simple, because if you're not in the habit of this, you don't want to get overwhelmed, right? We have like checklists, we have all this great technology at Compass, but it's moved so rapidly that you don't want to like overwhelm yourself, right? So what's the goal with the client you want to speak to?
Well, I have one lease client that I had that we'll find out in January if he's going to stay in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So if he is, he wants to buy.
Mm-hmm.
I sent him a bottle of wine after he closed on his lease, and I haven't
Okay.
heard anything from him. So I was thinking that would be when I could call and just be like, hey, checking in with you, want to make sure you got the wine. I mean, 'cause I don't want to be like, hey, you didn't say thank you, but
No, that's fine. I send gifts all the time and I don't get thank yous. So that's great. But that's a good way to break the ice by sending a gift or thank you card or something like that. So just so you know, Robert Refkin, actually, there's an action plan that Chirag did with Robert Refkin on his follow-ups plans. So like you guys should just look at that. It's
Where
a
is
good
that?
way. It's on action plans within Compass. So if you go into Compass settings,
Okay.
and if you guys send me an email, I could do a follow-up with a video on how to find this stuff.
Okay.
I'll drop my email, and if I'm not. All right, so the goal is you just want to follow up, see if you got the wine, and is there anything else? Do you want to like schedule a meeting with him, schedule a follow-up?
I mean, this is like new to me, the whole thing. So like, is that something that you would, because he's a lawyer, he's very, very busy.
Okay.
And he got his place very quickly. So I did not get a chance to like really get to know him, to find out, like I had some other girls that they went to Rice. So I can ask, when football season starts, I can send them stuff about that or whatever.
Okay.
So it was really quick. So I didn't really learn much about him.
Do you know what city he's considering moving to?
Pardon?
Do you know which city he's considering moving to, or is he
Here.
staying?
He
Oh,
would be staying here if he signs on as a partner. And so that's why he was like, he's renting now, but if he stayed, and he told me at the time, he's like, he would use me, but I don't want him to forget that he said that.
So it sounds like he's kind of like a long-term buyer. Is that correct? Like he wants to buy in the future?
Yes, if he decides to stay in Houston, he said he did want to buy. He was just leasing because he was on a contract basis right now and not signed with the firm.
So to me, it sounds like the goal should be to maybe get him on a collection. That way he could maybe see what the
But
price is.
isn't it a little soon to be doing that? Because he won't find out until January if he gets the deal to stay. So
Okay,
he
so
won't
how about,
know if he's interested to buy.
got it. So it sounds like there should just be a follow-up point after the new year.
Okay, or maybe
Yeah, it should just be a follow-up point after the new
put him
year.
on a Christmas card list or.
Yeah, so basically the goal should be, let's try to touch base after the new year to see where he's at, right? So
Yeah.
we could practice the conversation, but the conversation should basically, you could be him.
Okay.
And I'll be you, right?
Okay.
All right. All right, so ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, can I speak to Christine?
This is she.
Hey, this is Justin Martinez. Congrats on the new apartment. Just wanted to check in to see how's everything coming along, how the moving process went, and to see if you got my gift.
I did, and I drank it, and I'm sorry I didn't say thank you.
It's all good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I love that bottle of wine. Maybe next time we could drink it together.
That'd be fun.
Awesome. So I know when we last spoke, you don't know what your situation is going to be until January with your current job. So typically with clients like you, I like to get them on the collection just so they see what the market is in the areas they're considering. But I understand that you might not be in Houston. After you find out there's a possibility that you might not be in Houston after January. So would it be okay if we touch base sometime around January and see, what your goal is after you hear back from your job?
That sounds good.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything I could do for you in the meantime, between now and January?
I don't think so.
Okay. You know, I'm always here for you if you have any questions, like for, you know, like painters or, you know, handyman or anything like that. So I'm happy to be a resource for you anytime you have questions.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So I guess we'll touch base in the new year. Have a great summer, and we'll be in touch.
That sounds good.
That's it.
Okay,
How did that sound?
I can do that.
Yeah, that's great. So you just want to like get that, you know, break the ice. You got the wine. You didn't say thank you. You know, make a joke out of it, and then just schedule the follow up.
Okay.
Yeah. Is any and then is he? I imagine he's in your CRM, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so in your CRM, you should have a task, right,
Mhm.
to alert you of when his lease ends, just
Yeah.
to do it like 2 months. So put a note in the CRM of when the lease ends, but put a task like maybe 3 months before the lease ends.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also put the task with the task just to follow up in January.
Okay. And I can put that in my other lease people, because I've done 5 leases, so I can put those
Yeah.
in there to follow up. Okay.
Yeah, so I did a lot of rent. So I've been an agent. My story is I wanted to be an eye doctor, but you know, at 19, I just said, you know what, let me try real estate part time to make some quick side money, and I started off doing rentals. So I've probably done over like 600 rentals in my career, and I've converted a lot of renters into buyers, especially in a market like now where the interests are the rents are rising.
That's what I'm hoping is that.
Yeah. So it's, you know, so what you should also do now for your renters is also work with a bank to show them like the monthly payment, right? Versus like rent. That was
Okay.
a big one I used to convert renters into buyers. And then if you're then speak with an accountant potentially and see like if there's any tax benefits, you know, renting versus buying.
Oh, there are. You can, in Texas, you can write off the interest rate on your mortgage.
Yeah, so exactly. So you want to get those numbers in that way buyers can like see it. Like
Mhm.
I'm literally like I just did a video about this. Like I literally was burning money in the trash can. Like this is you
Mhm.
renting.
I've never understood paying high rent.
Yeah. So all right, cool. So yeah, let me know how that follow-up goes. And
Okay.
yeah, again, goal, right? Goal. Frame the conversation around the goal. So if you're
Mhm.
not sure how to do that, this is where role play comes in handy. Everyone should be role playing at least 2 to 4 times a week. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy, 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And then the follow-up task right after, right? So you want to immediately put those tasks in because you know we're all busy, right? So we forget. But if you do it right away, or you know, or put a reminder in your calendar to maybe set those tasks later in the day if you have to go to an appointment, you know, you just want to make sure those follow tasks are done. It's called promises. I tell my team this promise. You want to like you say you're going to do something, just do it, right? Like it's a promise. So and in our business, the more promises we keep, the better our relationships become, and that gets to more deals and more money. All right. Anyone else want to do a role play scenario? Because I think Chirag also wants us to actually do live calls too, like to call one client. Hi, Heather.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. Where you from? What market are you from?
Manhasset, Long Island, New York.
Oh, I hear the accent. Love it.
What accent? I just found out today, I go daily to a dog park in my community. And I found out that one of the guys is planning on selling his house. His wife is already in Florida looking for a place to live, and they're thinking of selling, but I wasn't there when he was talking about it that day, and I don't know how to approach him. He's a doctor, and he probably already has, past, he redid his house, he gutted it, he built it all up and everything else. It's gorgeous. And so he probably already has who he's gonna work with, and he knows I'm new. to real
Okay.
estate, but I still want to make a presentation to him to at least say, listen, this is what Compass can offer you, but I'm new to this too. This is a second career for me as well. I'm brand new to all this as well, the same as Christine. And I was in retail and I had my own business for 35 years, and we just closed it. So this is chapter 2.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, so with Chirag in the portal, he has this marketing calendar that we built, right? So in the marketing calendar, and again, if my email's in the chat box, if anyone has any follow-up questions, you know, I'll answer them and I'll send you everything we spoke about. But in the marketing calendar, we put a step-by-step guide of like what we do on a day-to-day basis to sell their home in a quicker time frame and for more money. So one, I would download that, but two, let's framework the conversation. So the goal is you basically want to see if he's working with anyone. Is that correct?
Correct. I want to try to get my foot in the door, and hopefully he would use me.
Okay, so let's and do you guys like how would you envision approaching him? Would you you could just knock on his door? Do you have his phone
No, I
number?
see him at the dog park. His dog
Oh.
plays with my dog.
And do you guys have mutual friends?
Yeah, well, we have the whole group. I initially, I was supposed to, I offered to have a dog park barbecue at my house and have the whole group come, but the weather was so blazing hot that I postponed it, and they all were excited. They all wanted to come without the dogs, because his dog's about the size of Beethoven from the movie. And I could see that anyway. So they're all very friendly. So, but you know, business is business and friendly is friendly. So
Yeah.
I just don't know if he would cross the line and do that.
Got it.
So I
Okay.
can see them on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's great. So that's awesome. So it sounds like it's going to be an in-person conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe give him like a small like toy for his dog.
Okay.
Like, yeah, just get like to break the ice, right? Like just break, like you don't want to make it super uncomfortable. Like, hey, I heard you're selling your house. Like,
That's exactly what I was gonna say, because that's the type of relationship it is. We've been going to the park for a year and a half.
So you guys, yeah. So just say like, so let's do the conversation. So do you want to try to start the conversation? Or do you want me to do the? Do you want? All right. So hey Heather, nice seeing you. Sorry that we had to cancel the dog party. I can't believe you're selling a beautiful house. How's that process coming along?
He wouldn't say that. Okay.
Yeah. So what would you say? I mean, I don't know the guy. What would you say?
Yeah.
I'm acting like you. I'm not acting like him.
I know you are. What I would say to him is like, oh, rumor has it that you're looking to buy in Florida. Are you selling here? And if so, what can I do to help you? No.
You could do that, or you could just say, how's the process coming along? How's the process coming along?
Yeah.
And you want to keep it open. You want to have open-ended questions, because also when you're speaking with a client, right? Like us brokers, we love to talk, but you want the client to talk 80% of the time and you want to talk 20%. So open-ended questions are very important. So I would just say, how's the process coming along? And he'll
Buying a house in Florida first?
just in general, like how's the process
Did you
coming
find
along?
anything?
Purchasing, and all right, do you guys need to sell to purchase?
No, he doesn't.
All right, so I would just say, how's the process coming along?
All right.
And
coming
that-
along with which part? Just to finding a house in Florida? Because I think they're not in a rush. And they were talking.
After that, after he says, how's the process coming along? After you ask, how's the process coming along? He's either going to tell you like, it's coming along great. We found something in Florida, or he could tell you that, we're still looking in Florida. We still have to sell our home. So he could tell you like multiple things, but you want to see what's his response first, right? Then after that, then the next question, if he answers like, okay, like we found something in Florida, we're ready to sell, right? That would be like the best case scenario.
Mhm.
but you don't know if the conversation is going to go like that. He could say,
Right.
we haven't found anything in Florida. Then we have agents in Florida, right? You could even say, hey, like, Compass, we're number one in the country. Would it be helpful if I put you in touch with an agent down there?
She already has an agent. I already
No,
found
she
that.
has that. Sorry.
She's
So,
already
all right,
going, she's already down there with a broker.
so that's off the table. All right. So,
Yep.
but again, you want to ask that question first, see what his response says, then ask them if you want to, point the conversation towards the sell, because that's the goal, right? The sell, and Matt has it. You want to ask, would it be helpful if I sent you some info on what the properties are worth in the area, and see where he's at with that? Then he'll tell you like, yeah, that'd be great, that'd be really helpful. Or he might tell you that I'm working with someone. If he tells you I'm working with someone, would it be helpful if I showed you exactly what we do in a day-to-day process to get your home sold in a quicker time frame and for more money? So that's where the whole marketing calendar comes into play. Because most agents don't use this marketing calendar. So that's when you could, do that whole, presentation and stuff like that. Then lastly, have you been to this home before?
Not inside it, but I've seen the outside. I saw what was being built. I mean, he has a tennis court in the basement,
Yeah.
in the house.
So if you get to the point where he's not working with someone and he's open to you sending over the marketing calendar and stuff like that, so you want to schedule a walkthrough with them. Like, would you be open to giving me a 10 to 15 minute walkthrough of the home? And the most important question after you do the walkthrough, or you could even ask this, you can ask this after the walkthrough, like after you ask about the walkthrough. Ask them what's most important to you about the agent and company that's going to be representing you in the sale of your home.
That's a good question. Wait, what is
what is most important to you about the agent and company that is going to represent you and the sale of your home?
That's a great question.
And that's the question. Like, when people ask me, do I pitch Compass? Do I pitch anything? I don't pitch anything. I just ask them that question, and then I focus. Then I frame. Remember the goal, right? Frame the conversation around that, because everyone is going to go and pitch. Hey, Compass is number one. Compass, we're public now. We raised 20 billion. Like, everyone's gonna, like, most brokers are gonna do that, right? You don't want to do that. You want to focus on what's important, because that might not be important to him, what Compass is done. It might be important that he sees you every day, he feels like he could trust you, and then if you back it up with some type of plan, he's gonna be like, oh wow, even though Heather's just started, she has her shit together. So, right? So that's when because like brokers, we have to be credible. Like, there's a bunch of brokers out there. We have to be credible, and if we focus the conversation on what's important to them, then back it up with like these, like that marketing plan. I mean, we have some credibility, even if you just started out. All you need is that first one, and then it's the momentum picks up.
What is the most important to you when selling a house, or the broker?
What is most important to you about the agent and company that will be representing you and the sale of your home?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I think that one's he's gonna catch him off guard on that one.
So his response, I do this. I literally call people all day about this.
It's a good one.
You're gonna have a couple of responses. He's gonna have a few responses. He's either gonna ask about your experience. He's gonna say communication is important. He's gonna say getting the highest price is important. So those are going to be like the typical responses.
Yeah.
That's what I see. I mean, if he says something else, I mean, I'll be surprised, but typically that's what I see.
For us that are new agents, how would you recommend we best answer the experience question? Would it be like referring to our team and that you're actually getting all of that experience? agents, or how would you best phrase that to like minimize concern about having a newer agent?
That's exactly.
That's a good question. I mean, that's always the concern when you know, get into sales and stuff. I mean, you guys live in these neighborhoods, right? So you guys know the neighborhoods probably better than most people, and you guys came from other industries. So you have that advantage. And then you just have to do some studying on the comps. Like people want to know like what price they're gonna, like what price range they're gonna sell in, and they're gonna want to know how fast it's gonna sell. So those are typically what sellers want to hear. Well, what they want to know. They want to know like if we list at X price, where are we going to sell at, and then how many days is it going to take to go into contract and actually sell. So basically that's just studying comps, right? Like you just want to know like what the data says.
So I was also thinking that I was gonna put together a presentation now to have ready in case he does say, what do you have? And then I would have it already ready. So I'm thinking of doing it already, to have something in case he, what can you offer? What do you provide? And then I would already have it ready. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. That's an option, but make sure you have that marketing calendar in there because it's not just a marketing calendar; it's also a communication calendar too. So it shows you, like, I mean, we have the system we created was literally like, you know, Sundays we do, New York City we do Sunday open house. Monday, you know, Sunday night we give them an update. Monday we, you know, give them a call. Like, you know, we schedule a communication day with the seller, right? Then Tuesday, I mean, it's like an entire like step-by-step like thing that would that
But you don't give them the calendar,
no,
obviously.
we
You
give
do?
them, we show the clients the calendar, and yeah,
All right.
yeah. But I would ask him those questions first before you offer him anything. So what questions are you gonna ask, Heather?
Yeah, say again.
So what questions are you gonna ask?
I'm gonna ask, oh, I hear that you're looking to buy in Florida. How's the process going? How's the process coming along? Has your wife found anything? Are you guys, you getting excited about the whole idea of, empty nesting? And what are you planning on? And then maybe like to wait for him to respond, but and then at one point get to, so what, do you have a time frame? Are you guys gonna leave, you know, Roslyn, or? See, that's why I start getting all not as confident.
So yeah, let's practice this. It's fine. It's, you know, let's practice here versus practice on the client, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so let's do it. Yeah, so I mean, our floor, we haven't found anything in Florida, but like you know, we're close to finding something. In terms of my home in Roslyn, like we would like to sell. I don't think we want to come back to New York.
I just froze. Sorry.
No worries. Just look at the questions.
I'm looking at you. Would it be happy?
You want to ask, would it be helpful if I?
Would you be open for me? What? I said, the one of you said, what is the most important thing to you to sell in the house about an 8?
No, you want to ask, would it be helpful if I sent you some comps of what the home is?
Right.
Would it be helpful if I sent you some comps?
Yep. And see how he reacts to that.
Yeah. Then ask him what's most important to you about
Right, and then the other one. What's
Yeah.
most important? Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, got it. Number 2.
Then lastly, is try to schedule the walkthrough, and also ask him, has he interviewed anyone yet?
Yeah, that's a good one because he probably would just think he'll hire his friend and not thinking as like, oh, interviewing. I didn't think of that. That's a good one.
Yeah. And so I could be the agent, you be him. Let's go down these questions.
Okay.
Heather, I've heard you've been looking in Florida and you're planning to leave us. How's the process coming along?
It's going okay. I haven't found what I love, but we're trying to zero in on the area that we want to live, and we're working on it still. It's a work in progress.
Awesome. Are you guys also planning to sell your beautiful home?
Possibly, yes. Thinking of downsizing to an apartment.
Okay. Would it be helpful if I sent you some comps for the property?
Me as a person, I would always say sure. It doesn't ever. Yeah, me as a person, I would say absolutely. Never hurts to learn something and gain information.
Okay. Have you guys interviewed any brokers yet for the property?
No, not yet. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, have you guys sold in the past?
What? Say again?
Have you guys sold any property in the past?
I don't know the answer to him. Yes, I have.
Okay. And how was that experience when you sold?
It was fine. Nothing memorable.
And what would you say is most important to you about the agent and company that's going to represent you in the sale of your home?
Communication, follow through, response time, finishing where I start, like, oh man, these are not as easy, this full play thing. Holy crap. I'm glad you do this because you get stuck. I'm getting stuck.
Sometimes the client gets stuck also because no one asked them this.
Oh my God, yeah,
So my response to you would be, it sounds like communication is very important to you. So along with the comps, would it also be helpful if I sent you our communication plan?
yes, that'd be very helpful.
Awesome. So I'll send it. What's the best email to send it to you?
You can send it to my Compass email, heather.libman@compass.com.
Okay, great.
Go to it.
Would you also be open to giving me a walkthrough of the home, possibly later today or tomorrow for like 10, 15 minutes?
Sure, that's not a problem. I have no problem doing that. Sure.
Awesome. How's 2 p.m. tomorrow?
Also be very specific. Okay.
You want to give 2 times, so you can say like, how's give them a time in the morning, give them a time in the afternoon. Give them 2 times, because like if you go hungry to a restaurant with 1,000 options, you don't ever know what to pick. But if you had 3 options, you pick one. So give them 2.
Do I give him a time or do I say what time works for you?
No, just ask him just give him 2 times, 10, like for example, 10 a.m. or 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that. He does not have any idea that I'm gonna do this tomorrow.
No, there he is. He's not, but I think he's gonna be impressed.
I hope so. Well, he's gonna stop talking at the dog park.
He's gonna be like, Heather, it's too early. I haven't had my coffee.
Seriously, it's 8 o'clock when we get there. He's gonna be like, what? And his dog is the size of a horse.
Yeah.
I'm shocked he's selling. I really am. I'd be surprised. Comes from a very, very large family and everybody gathers and comes to have, I'm really surprised. This was
But it's better to come with this approach than say, hey, I work at Compass, we're the #1 company, just like start talking at them. If you ask these questions, I think you'll definitely find if he's working with someone. If not, you definitely get your foot in the door. Yeah.
that's a good one. That other question was really good. Thank you.
Awesome. So let me know how it goes. Or
I
let me
will.
know if you want to role play right before 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Not a bad idea. I'm gonna rewrite it, so it'll be nice and neat.
All right, sounds good. All right, anyone else?
Old school, sorry.
No worries, it's all good. Old school is the best a lot of times because technology is never perfect.
Okay, get another victim.
All right. Who's next? Rosemary, Brooklyn, New York. Love it. I'm also from Brooklyn. Born and raised, Bed-Stuy.
Prospect Lefferts Gardens.
I love PLG.
Yeah.
Great neighborhood.
So I think I've kind of put my foot in it already. Well, this particular seller was trying to buy a property that I had listed last year. And at that time, I tried to convince he and his wife to sell their co-op to increase their buying power and negotiation power in purchasing the house that I was selling. But they decided not to, and they got turned down on a couple of the properties that I showed them, and then they kind of threw. So in working on my CRM, I contacted them and, just to see what they were up to and to touch base and so on. And happily, they contacted me and said, they were considering selling their co-op. So I was like, oh, fantastic to myself. And so I got my foot in the door and I asked if I could come see it, and they were calling me because I've had over 50 years of experience in PLG, and they want to move in this area. They want to buy a house. They're currently living in a 3-bedroom co-op apartment.
Okay.
So I'm fantastic. All right, long story short, I go over there. Their apartment is gorgeous, gorgeous. They had an architect go in there and do beautiful work, but it's an HDFC apartment. Yeah. The amount that they can get for it is kind of limited because of the financials people have to qualify to be in that co-op. It has a great location. It's like across the street from the park. And the husband, is more game on selling it. His wife was not there at the showing. I assumed, which was a bad thing to do, that they were both on the same page. So at the end of the conversation, I sort of asked a question about what's important to you in a real estate transaction, because obviously you've been in them before and worked with other agents. So immediately he went into the commission spiel about how, on the last deal, he only paid 4% and the agent threw in this and threw in that. And I go, oh God. So, I calmed down in my head and backed him out of that about the level of experience and asked him why he wasn't working with that agent now. And, is that agent is familiar with the area you'd like to move into and, opportunities to sell your property. And he said, well, I wasn't able to locate him. And, so he started backpedaling a little bit. And then he said, I'm not used to paying that level of commission. But I said, well, if you get the price that you're asking for and you're able to move where you wish to move, it's well worth it. You're getting your money's worth, and so on and so on and so on. So then he said, well, we're both, my wife and I are very concerned about the economy right now, and the raise in interest rates and being able to get our price and also finding someone who fits the qualifications, for the co-op and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So I said, well, he said, I'm going to have to be able to talk my wife into this. I am confident that you'll be able to do something, and if we don't get our price, we're just not going to sell. And then of course we can't buy because the prices in this area have skyrocketed and da 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 da. So I said, well, what would you need to be able to bring your wife to the table? Or would you like me to make another meeting time for all of us to talk? So he says, well, I don't think I could even bring her to the table unless she's convinced that this is worth her time in the first place. So I said, well, what, can I provide you with comps right now in the area, or any other information about how we work at Compass, what sets us apart from others, and why we can deliver? They said, well, that might work. So I said, okay, I'll put something together. I haven't done that yet because I'm like,
Okay.
oh my God. Yes. I made the promise.
Yeah.
Now
All
I
right.
can
So you're kind of like, you're already starting the conversation. So
hamna.
So it sounds like to me for him, so being that they're selling, they need to sell to buy.
Yeah.
It sounds like every penny counts. And it sounds like to me, the reason why they want to cut the commission is because they're looking at like what money they wouldn't get if they paid that.
Right. How much if they'll be able to walk with to the next place, or they can use to buy the other place. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And what are the comps in that location at his current home?
Well, for the co-op that they're selling, the comps in the building are non-existent because they're like one of 3 of the very largest apartments, plus they have architectural work. So I would have to travel outside of the area, and those comps look excellent, above what they're going to ask for the apartment. However, the other co-ops do not have that HDFC part. But I know that there are a lot of trust fund babies and people who would qualify. So my marketing would be the thing, who I target to get in there. So I'm not really worried about that because it's a gorgeous, as I mentioned, place. And the building is also very nice, and the location is great.
Mhm.
So all of those things work. I truly believe I can get their price.
And what do you think that price is?
900K.
Okay. And do you know, like, is there a specific number that they need to walk away with?
I didn't ask that question. They just stuck on the 900K. So that's the base, that they need in the sale price. I didn't go into, if you have an underlying mortgage, or what do you need to net, or how much down payment do you currently have? I didn't dig deep into their finance yet.
Mm-hmm. So typically, I work with a lot of developers, and I have this kind of like every developer like always wants to have this commission conversation. And the reason why is because they're in a business, right? So they need to walk away with a certain number. So typically, I'll flat out ask them, is there a number, is there a target that you guys are looking to achieve here? And if they give me that target, I'll ask, and I'll also ask them, so if we received, if you have a contract in front of you for X number, what would you do? See what their response is, right? Because you also want to know if they're real sellers.
Yeah.
Because people could say, hey, I want X number, but like X number could just be outrageous and the comps just don't support it, right? Especially when we have like rising interest rates and things like that.
Yeah.
So you want to know that you're not wasting your time, because I tell people this all the time, is like, new listings are great, but doesn't mean it's actually business until it's closed, right?
Exactly.
So and when you're in a business like this, it's like you could waste a lot of time where you could just be doing something else. And I've learned this later on, as I've been in a position where I cut my commissions and I look at the check. I'm like, I spent all this time, but like,
Yeah,
it wasn't worth it.
cutting your salary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why we're in business? No.
Exactly. So, and there's a reason why that discount broker is not in business anymore.
Exactly. That's why you can't find it.
And another thing I tell clients like that when they say about cutting commission, I say everyone runs their business differently, right? Like it's just a matter of fact. There's some people at Compass that cuts their commission, right? Compass is so
Yeah,
big now. So it's like everyone runs their business differently. And it's a matter of fact, this is what I charge. You could say it, and you could say like, this is what I charge. That's it.
Yeah, confidently. Exactly.
If you want a fallback plan, like you want to throw it on someone else, you could say, I'll speak to my manager, but
No,
typically,
I'm not even gonna do that. No.
but so Frederick Eklund, right, from Douglas Elliman, he wrote in his book, he was negotiating with a client, this one client, and his client will always say, let me speak to my partner, right?
Yeah,
And they'll come back and say, my partner said this. Anyway, long story short, Frederick says in the book, I've done this, I've worked with this client multiple times. I realized there was never a partner. Right? So like you just throwing it on someone else, right? So
Yeah.
I've used this thing the other day. I've literally used this on Tuesday on a walkthrough for a penthouse. This
Good
woman's
cop,
like,
bad cop.
yeah, correct. Right. So exactly. So it's like, yeah, I'll speak to my manager. This is our commission 6%. She's like, can you do 5%, which is actually reasonable for the price range,
Yeah.
you know, in real estate. But I was like, I'll speak to my manager. I was like, I can't guarantee anything. And she went from 5 to 5.5. I didn't even, without me saying the number.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so you go, that's another thing you could do. Say, I'll speak to my manager. You can say my commission is 6%. I'll speak to my manager, but we can't guarantee anything because we would be listing the home below $1 million, and below $1 million, the standard commission is 6%.
Yeah,
Which is a fact. You could check.
that's true.
Yeah. Right. So basically, I mean, yours is a little bit tricky because you already had this conversation so long already. Oh, Rosemary just fell off. Oh, I think we lost her, guys. But typically when anyone asks about the commission, you could just say no, like this is the commission. And if they keep pushing back, you definitely want to find out if there's a reason why they want to negotiate the commission.
Justin, can I ask, like, I've had the situation where someone pushed back on the commission because they interviewed another agent.
Mhm.
Other agent said that they would reduce their commission.
Mhm.
Do you have something?
Yeah, I mean, like I just like one of the listings I just listed. I was competing. This is a townhouse guy, townhouse developer in Brooklyn. He does like 40 to 50 townhouses a year. He works with like this company that does 4%. They're known for that. And the guy was like, "Can you do 4%?" So Brooklyn for this category, it's typically the standard commission is 5%. I said no, our commission is 5%. You know, like everyone runs their business differently. That's their, you know, this is what I charge. But what I did tell him, and this was a fact, I was like, from the listings I've sold in this neighborhood, I've obviously competed with them, with the other company, because they also sell listings in the neighborhood. We sell at a much faster rate because when buyer brokers when they, you know, their buyers brokers are capitalists, right? They want, you know, if they see someone giving 2% versus 2.5%, they're going to push their buyers to 2.5%. So I told them that when I enter these markets and I'm paying higher than the other companies, they're all pushing my listings. They're all pushing their buyers to my listings because they don't want 1 or 2%. They want 2.5%. And this was just a matter of fact. And I showed them like what they sold compared to like what I sold. So you could use that strategy, or you could just simply ask them like, is there a number like that you're like looking to achieve? And how would us reducing the commission by, you know, if it's like $1 million property, 1% by 10,000, how would that get you to your goal? Like, how would that affect your goal?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just figuring out like the mindset behind it. That's all.
Well, I will say they were set to go with that other agency because of the reduced commission, but it ended up that that agency had someone, they had a buyer for the property.
Okay.
And they wanted it to go at a certain price, which was below, you know, what these people wanted. And we ended up getting the listing because they felt like they weren't being very ethical in their, you know, representation. And we did get it sold over asking. So we ended
There you
up
go.
our value. Yeah. But
And that's a story you could use. That's a story you could use. Just because I'm sorry, just because you drop your commission doesn't mean that they're gonna get more money. Because a lot of these discount brokerages, they're not gonna spend money on the marketing, or they're not gonna spend the time. So this is where, so another question you can ask, Sheila, is like, did this company show you exactly what they're gonna do on a step-by-step process on a daily basis to get you the highest price possible in a quicker time frame? So this is where that marketing calendar comes into play.
Another thing that I use is the fact that we work with many brokers in New York and outside of New York, and you always want your property to be a priority to all the brokers who are looking at it. So if you're asking people to cut their salary and look at your property and spend time versus someone who's paying what we ask for, the people who are giving them what they ask for are a priority over you. So you increase the speed of your sale by having more brokers looking at you and trying to bring their buyers to you.
Yeah, we're coming when you dropped off and coming back on. We're actually just talking about that because I was on Sheila that I work in a lot of areas that Keystone. I know you know Keystone in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
give like 2 or 3%. Like
yes.
Yeah, so I explained that to one of my developers. I said, listen, like in the markets that we entered where they're dominant in the area, we sell faster than them because when they see our listings and we're known for taking care of the buyer's agent, the buyer's agent comes to us. they're not going there. So,
but I think I can handle the commission aspect from a lot of different angles, but the economy angle, what do you suggest?
I mean, honestly, like it's below $1 million. It's 6%. Like, if you want to show like you're working with them, do the economy. You could maybe do like if it's a direct deal, I can maybe do, you know, it's up to you, 4 or 5%.
Oh no, not the commission. I think I can handle.
Oh, okay.
My 6%.
Oh, she fell off again. Sorry, guys. Okay, seems like we're almost to a close, but next week, definitely come with some scenarios that we could practice, and maybe let's all try to get one person that we want to call during the session. That way, I'll do a bunch of calls, and that way you can hear me also following up with people. Hey, Rosemary, you're back. Rosemary, I think we're gonna jump off. Do you want to give me a call directly?
Sorry about that. I'm having technical difficulties here.
No worries. Do you want to give me a call directly?
Okay.
Yeah, give me a call because we're gonna jump off, and I have to actually head to Brooklyn.
Okay. What's your
646 665
yes.
3960.
Thank you. I will.
All right, guys. Let's get one client we want to speak to next week. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And feel free to email me about the marketing calendars.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.